2017 has been a rollercoaster year. A snap general election saw Theresa May hanging on to power by a thread, but arguably finishing up the year in a position of strength. Brexit progress inched along. Jeremy Corbyn tightened his grip on Labour, and there were two pieces of good news for royal watchers. Meanwhile, terrorist atrocities have occurred across the world. Europe faced political upheaval, and war with North Korea was a constant threat. And in royal circles, Prince Harry announced his engagement to US actress Meghan Markle. Express.co.uk has rounded up the year in news to bring you to the biggest stories of 2017. Article 50 triggered. Finally, it was the moment. 17.4 million people voted for as Theresa May triggered Article 50. In March, Britain's ambassador to the EU Tim Barrow handed over the formal notice of the UK's intention to leave the bloc to European Commission President Donald Tusk. Mrs May penned a 6-page letter saying she hoped for a deep and special partnership between the EU and Britain. Getty. Brexit finally got moving this year, but Brexit progress slow this year. We all became experts on the divorce bill, EU citizens' rights and the Irish border. Those three issues dominated political discussion as seemingly never-ending negotiations between David Davis and Michel Barnier creaked along. It took several interventions by the Prime Minister to finally get talks signed off this month to move on to trade. But with time running down before Britain leaves, trade talks postponed until March, and the Irish border issue kicked into the long grass. Theresa May's challenge is only just beginning. Getty. Attackers struck at London Bridge. A year of terror's ISIS was pushed back in the Middle East and militarily lost all capability. Killers inspired by the death cult conducted a series of brutal atrocities, with 3 terror attacks carried out in the UK this year. Young children were sickeningly targeted by young suicide bomber Salman Ramadan Abedi at an Ariana Grande concert in Manchester on May 27, killing 23 people and wounding more than 500 others. London was hit twice, once at Westminster on March 22 when fanatic Khalid Masood plowed into pedestrians, killing 4 people before murdering police officer Keith Palmer outside the Houses of Parliament. The pattern was repeated in June when 3 crazed jihadists ran people down on London Bridge before going on a stabbing spree at Borough Market, slaughtering 8 and injuring 48. Attacks on underground trains in Parsons Green and New York both failed, but there was further bloodshed with attacks in cities including Barcelona and Stockholm. Getty. Theresa May gets off at her P45 in a disastrous speech. Her election shock. Theresa May set out on the holiday walk that gave her the bright idea of holding a snap election in June. The Tory campaign was a disaster and her performance was derided, eventually leading to the loss of her top advisors. Mrs May threw away the tree's majority, leaving her reliant on support from the DUP in a confidence and supply deal that sparked outrage. Non-Corbynite Labour MPs may also wish the election had never happened, with the ultra-left veteran strengthening Mr Corbyn's hold on the party despite losing the election. It's been a chaotic year in Europe. Election chaos. Angela Merkel has spent months desperately trying to form a coalition after leading her CDU party to the worst election result in 50 years in September. In France, centrist Emmanuel Macron romped a victory in May, promising far-reaching reforms, but has already run into opposition from the public. And in Austria, the continent is about to see its first far-right politicians in power as the Freedom Party reached a deal with Sebastian Kurz's People's Party. In Spain, a different kind of poll caused havoc as an illegal referendum on Catalonian independence sparked huge protests and a brutal police crackdown in October. Getty. Kim Jong-un raised the stakes in 2017 North Korea crisis following his January inauguration, when he wasn't pulling out of climate accords, attempting travel bans, insulting world leaders, or firing his top team. Donald Trump could be found goading Kim Jong-un. North Korea's threat ramped up to another level this year with a series of missile launches, culminating in claims the regime has developed a nuclear weapon which could hit the US. Kim Jong-un's hermit state has repeatedly accused Mr. Trump of declaring war, while the US president, dubbed a doted by Kim, has promised fire and fury, with no Sign of talks between the two countries anytime soon. Worries of war breaking out on the Korean peninsula look set to continue until 2018. Getty's Grenfell blaze was one of the worst disasters in modern UK history. Grenfell horror. On June 14, a fire broke out at Grenfell Tower, a 24-storey Kensington block in one of London's richest boroughs. The fire spread rapidly up the block, leaving scores of people trapped on the upper floors in one of Britain's worst modern disasters. In all, 71 people and over 70 people were injured at a building where residents repeatedly warned they were at risk. An inquiry is underway into the appalling tragedy, which has pushed Tower block fire safety high up the agenda of British politics. Getty. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry got engaged. Royal wedding bells after months of speculation. Prince Harry finally announced his engagement to Meghan Markle last month. The stunning Suits actress will have her fairy tale ceremony on May 19 at St George's Chapel in Windsor Castle. Harry, 33, and his American fiancée, 36, made the first heartwarming TV appearances together after the announcement, and Harry said it was love at first sight. And if that wasn't exciting enough for fans of the royal family, there's a new baby on the way too. Prince William and Kate are expecting the third child in April, just in time for the wedding. Getty. Harvey Weinstein was engulfed by allegation sex assault. Silence broken on October 5. A string of allegations against movie mogul Harvey Weinstein began to emerge from actresses like Rose McGowan and Ashley Judd. The claims kept on stacking up, and soon a string of high-profile figures also found themselves subject to claims of sexual assault or harassment. Actor Kevin Spacey, comedian Louis C.K. and Hollywood legend Dustin Hoffman are among those to have claims made about the behavior. The scandal also affected British politics, with claims made against a number of politicians.